So the US is certainly the tip of the spear, but it's the West more broadly that's very focused on the importance of these magnet-related rare earths in the technology industry as we move forward. We know we have to catch up, and we see ourselves as being a big part of that catch up.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Mark Wall. He is the CEO of American Rare Earths. And Mark, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, likewise, Steve. Really good. Thanks.
Good. So we've talked a lot about the company and what's been happening. And now another real big milestone for the company is you start this strategy in getting to the NASDAQ and confirming that you are committing to that US listing. So tell me a bit about the importance of the NASDAQ.
I mean, the NASDAQ is a great exchange. It's the place we should be. We are ultimately a company with US assets. We're in the US. I'm in the US. Even if you look at the exchanges, Steve, you know all this, but in US dollar terms, the ASX is around $2.1 trillion of total market cap, and the NASDAQ's around 38 trillion. So you've got an exchange that's 20 times or so larger than the ASX. And I think for a company like ours, that creates real opportunity.
You obviously have a lot of ways to get onto the NASDAQ. Are you just assessing your options before you make a full decision on how you will proceed?
We are, Steve. There's different ways. We're pursuing the compliance route. It is a route, and then we would need to go through the steps after that to be a fully able US issuer to raise capital and do other things. But there's other routes to the market, and we're looking at them all and just working out the best one. But at the same time, we don't have that much time. We need to move with speed in this business, and so we're pushing ahead with urgency.
I would imagine you get asked about this all the time about moving onto the NASDAQ just because of, as you mentioned, where your property is located and just the importance of the strategic metals that your property will eventually have.
Exactly. In the United States, we're in discussions in an ongoing way, as we should be, with the federal government in the United States about how Halleck Creek, the largest of the rare earth deposits on a trio basis in the US, fits into the broader long-term US strategy. So it's where we belong on the US exchange, and we will get there.
I want to ask you also about some news that also came out. This was from the U.S. president who signed an executive order sort of strengthening domestic supply, and that really sort of sits nicely with what you're doing at Halleck Creek.
It certainly does, Steve. It also brings into play the vertical integration that we've been talking about for a little while now. The importance, we know we can mine and produce that separated rare earth oxide. We know the midstream is important, the metallization, and we've announced previously the work we're doing around metallization, and we continue that work. And we're also having discussions about what the downstream integration might look like into eventual magnets. So the US is certainly the tip of the spear, but it's the West more broadly that's very focused on the importance of these magnet-related rare earths in the technology industry as we move forward. We know we have to catch up, and we see ourselves as being a big part of that catch up.
And lastly, Mark, you mentioned about speed and how you want to get sort of the NASDAQ thing done. And the company really is moving at a breakneck speed and trying to get to a point where you can start, getting to where you want to go, which is obviously having this all available for the US.
Absolutely, Steve. And it's always there's always tension between speed and quality. So we have to make sure we don't lose quality with speed. When you've got such a large asset as we've got here, and anyone can go look at the valuation on a per kilo, per pound basis of what Halleck Creek is versus the other rare earth deposits and how much work we have to do to get our value realized. We think the NASDAQ will help with that, but exploration, PFS, and of course the work around the SEC SK 1300 that we need to do there The feasibility study we've already started, the pilot plant in full stretch. We're doing work across the board, the metallization, the broader whole of property assessment. So yeah, if you've got any spare time, Steve, we could do with an extra pair of hands.
I can imagine. Mark, thanks so much. Really great to catch up with you, and we look forward to following the story as it continues to develop at a breakneck speed.
Great to see you as always, Steve.
All right, good stuff. There's Mark Wall, the CEO of American Rare Earths.